Okay, my name is Daniel Mora. It's November 24th, 2019. It's 3:15, and I give permission for this video to be recorded. Thank you.
Hello. So could you introduce yourself for us, please?
My name is Daniel Mora.
Alright. And what was it that you do currently?
Currently, I work for the Department of Homeland Security as a special agent.
Right. So you were enlisted in the Army, correct?
Marines.
In the Marines, sorry. And then what was your life like before you enlisted?
Okay, so before I enlisted, I was working full time, going to school part time, but I kept dropping out of school. I signed up, registered, and never finished a semester. Always drop out. I just working full time, not doing much besides working.
And so you talked to a recruiter, and then they got you into the Marines.
I thought about the military for a long time. Actually, I was 23 when I joined, which is kind of late. Usually, you join like right after high school. You know what I mean? So I put it off for a while, but it was always on my mind to join the military. I just didn't know which branch. So eventually, I was 23. I realized, you know what? I got to do something with my life. It's been, I graduated 5 years ago from high school, and haven't done much. So I pulled the trigger and joined the Marines.
So, how did your immigration affect your being enlisted for the war?
Okay, so when I joined the service, I was a resident. I wasn't a U.S. citizen. I wasn't born here. I was born in Venezuela. But when I joined the Marines, I applied for citizenship, and within a year or two after being enlisted, I went through the process and I became a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I was telling Juliet, my dad did a similar thing because he was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, he joined the Navy though.
Okay.
So was that part of your motivations for joining?
No, actually, the immigration status wasn't part of the motivation. I was already a resident alien, and I knew eventually I was going to become a citizen. That wasn't the issue. To be honest with you, the benefits were the number one motivation. Obviously, to travel, the background that I was going to get. Once I got out and I applied for a job, having that on your resume was going to be. I know it was going to be good. And I wanted to obviously do something different.
Right, change it.
Yeah, change it up a little bit.
See the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we mentioned you were in the Marines. So what was your MOS and what does that entail?
Okay, so I was in the infantry. So I was a grunt. Infantry, basically the front lines, the first guys to go fight. Whenever we got to come back, the very first ones. You got mechanics, you got cooks, you got logistics, a little bit of everything. Infantry are the ones that do the fighting. And that's what I joined the infantry.
So, what were your experiences while you were enlisted?
Okay, so I did a lot of cool training. Desert training, jungle, cold weather training, water training. I mean, the training was awesome. I got to travel a lot. I got to go all over Europe for 6 months. Got to see a lot of nice places, a lot of cool countries all over Europe.
Eat good food.
Yes.
Yes. And what did you think? What would be like? What did you think fighting would be like before any?
You're referring when I went to Iraq?
Yeah.
All right, so I did 2 combat tours. I did Kosovo in 01 and Iraq in 03. Kosovo at the time wasn't that bad. We were just policing, walking around the city or whatever. A few firefights here and there, but nothing like against us. It was them fighting the Macedonians, so we were like referees right in between or whatever. Iraq was the invasion in March of 2003. And, 2013. So yeah, going back with numbers, I joined in 2000. 2003 was Iraq. March of 2003 is when we invaded Iraq. What was the question? What was it like?
Yes.
Some similar to the movies, but it's not like in the movies. Obviously, a lot of things happen. You know what I mean? If it's your first time going to war, it's an experience like no other. You'll never forget. What was it like? Would I do it again? No. If I could avoid it, no. I wouldn't want to do it again. So when I joined and I knew we were gonna go to Iraq, I was excited about it. But once reality hits, you realize, man, this is for real. Hope I can make it back home.
From the experience, is there anything that you've taken from it that you tell others or teach?
Yeah, basically you realize how blessed we are to live in the United States. With all the issues that we have, this is like by far the best country in the world for sure. And you appreciate life even more when you see how poor other countries are. You know what I mean? Their lifestyle, everything that goes through in those third world countries. You know what I mean? But in a way, you become a better person after go through that stuff. You know? Go through all that.
So we have here like how to change you and the people around you. So like you're saying, you think it makes you a better person, or like I mean, not of course not the fighting, but like the structure of like being there, the shared experience, like oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You said it, I guess it's just here. How did it change you and the people
I
around you?
mean, it does change you. I don't care who you are. It can change in a good way or in a bad way. I got friends that didn't come back, 100% mentally right. They came back with PTSD and a lot of issues. You know what I mean? I remember when I got back, I used to have a lot of nightmares. But after a while, it goes away, and I lost friends. I lost three good friends in Iraq. So of course, you always remember them, and you realize how lucky you are to be able to come back to the United States. But it does affect you. Because that's something that you'll never forget. You know. Hopefully, if you did the right things and you didn't do anything you were not supposed to do, then you'll be okay. Some people that made mistakes that they did war crimes because some people did. Those are the ones that come back with a lot of issues because they start thinking about that and they feel guilty about it and they start having remorse and all that. And that's when PTSD comes in and all that. Or all the bad things that you see, the first things, people that are casualties of war, collateral damages, that happens in every war. So it's always, something that you don't ever forget.
So with the people that you've met there, like you still friends with them, like with lasting relationships?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was together with the same guys for 4 years, so they become your close friends. They become like your brothers. You get really close to them. A lot of them, when I got out after I did my 4 years of active duty, a lot of them stayed in, and they did more comeback tours. They went to Afghanistan, back to Iraq, and all that. I keep in touch with some of them, specifically with three of them. I still keep in touch. They all got out. They're doing different stuff now. Have their families, and they're doing okay. But every Marine Corps birthday, I get messages from a lot of my colleagues. A happy birthday, Marine, and all that, or memorial, obviously. You still keep in touch through social media and stuff like that.
That's the good thing about
yeah.
Yeah, all you have to do is log on somewhere and just check up on somebody. Yeah. So for both your tours combined, like how long did you serve, and did the length of your service affect the benefits you received from your time there?
All right, so I did 4 years active duty. I enlisted in 2000 and got out in 04. And then after that, from 04 to 2008, you stay on what is called ready reserve. So you're still on the hook. If they call you and they want to activate you, still got to come back. 4 years after you're done. So from 04 to 2008, I was what is called standby. You're supposed to report every 6 months. If you move, you got to do an update on your addresses and all that. You got to stay in shape, keep your uniform. So if they need you, they'll call you and you got to come back. As far as Iraq, I got there. We arrived to Kuwait in January of 2003, and then invasion happened in March 19 of 2003. That's when all the bombs were dropped and all that, and then eventually March 20th, the next day we went in from Kuwait to Iraq. I think I spent about 8 months in Iraq, if I recall correctly. Because they count the first 3 months that we were staying by in Kuwait, they count those, so that was good. Those 3 months that we were sitting there waiting, they count that towards our tour, comeback tour, or deployment, should I say. And Kosovo was like 3 months in 2001, right before September 11th, we were in Kosovo.
What were the most important lessons you learned during your time in Iraq? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but something else that you'd like?
That life is short, and you have to appreciate what you have: your family, your friends, your freedom, your quality of life. You can't take it for granted. I mean, air conditioning at your house, water, running water. That's all that is priceless.
Yeah, things we take for granted.
People have no idea how good we have it here. They have no clue.
And you said, so you're no longer enlisted, or no longer on the reserves, right? So
Right. I was done with my contract completely in 2008.
So that's why you left this, because you finished your contract and you wanted to do something else.
Yeah. So before I joined the Marines, I knew that I wanted to do 4 years, and then move on. That's what I wanted to do. Especially, I mean, the military is not for everybody. You know, if you miss a lot of birthdays, a lot of special occasions, you deploy a lot. Especially if you're in the infantry, you always deploy, always going something, either for training or on a mission. So having a family and being active duty is not easy. It's not easy because you don't see your family a lot. Sometimes you deploy for a whole year, you don't get to see your family for a whole year. So I knew I was going to do 4 years, make the best out of it, you know, get the benefits, the experience, and then move on. I knew I wanted to get into law enforcement eventually. So that's what I did. I did my 4 years active duty. I made the best out of it, had a great time, great experience, great training, and then I moved on.
Yeah, so you're saying that, I forgot what you mentioned before, like you were a police officer, or like, but now you're in like more private security?
No, so
we were asking the question is, how is your life now?
Okay, so when I finished my enlistment with the Marines, I came back and then I went to school full time because they give you what is called the GI Bill, basically they pay for your school. So I took advantage of that and I went to school full time for 4 years. I got my degree, then I got hired by Coral Springs Police Department. I did the police academy, and shortly after, I had applied. Before I joined the police department, I had applied with at that time it was called ICE, still ICE, but it's a different branch. And they took forever to hire me. The process was super long, but eventually they called me. You still want the job? You know, we want to give you a chance. And then I went from Coral Springs to what is called now Homeland Security. So I'm a federal agent now for Homeland Security.
Well, lastly, are there any? What is your advice for future generations?
In regards to what exactly?
To like
things like how they appreciate
Yeah.
life, pretty much.
Well, one advice that I'll give a lot of people, especially the younger generations, definitely one thing that I wish I would have done different was go to school right after high school. I got out, I finished high school when I was 18, and then for 5 years I didn't go to school. And those were 5 years, I was working full time or whatever, but those are 5 years that I can't take back. I wish I would just go to school and get that over with, get my degree, and then move on. It's a lot of, it's a lot easier when you have a degree. When it comes to apply for a job, it opens a lot of doors. If you got a master's, even better. You know what I mean? But one advice: go to school. Get out of high school and just get it over with. You're already on the roll, so just keep on going and get your degree. If you want to take a break after that, take a break. But at least you got your degree out of the way. Military is a great option. It really is. Now, the military can either make you or break you. You have to know. You have to go in for the right reasons with the right attitude. You have to be willing and able to follow orders. If you don't like following orders, it's going to be hard. Because if you don't listen, you get in trouble. If you don't obey your superiors, your chain of command, you get in trouble. But the experiences and the benefits that you get from the military are second to none. They're just, the job that I have right now is definitely thanks to my military background. Because when you apply, so many people apply and they look at your resume, and if you got military background, that automatically puts you on the top 10%, automatically. So it's a great benefit, if you got military background when it comes to apply for a job. Nowadays I get discounts everywhere. If I go to Disney or whatever, they give me a discount. There's always military discounts everywhere you go. Veterans Days, you get a free meal. I still go to the VA hospital, which is a Veterans Affairs military hospital. So they take care of me. It's definitely, if you don't want to go to school right away after high school for whatever reason, the military is not a bad idea. Depending on the job that you get in the military, you can also go to school while you're actually active duty. Let's say if you become a mechanic or logistics, you can work regular office hours, and then you can go to school at night. And you do 4 years, and you get out with a bachelor's degree and a military background. That's priceless. I couldn't do that because I was in the infantry. And being in the infantry, you always gone. So it's really hard to. You can take classes online here and there, but it's really hard. It's not impossible, but to get a bachelor's in 4 years, if you're in the infantry, it's very hard. I don't think I met anyone that done it before.
Yeah,
Or maybe there's someone out there that has done it.
Yeah, I guess like your main thing is making efficient use of the time you have. But,
Yes. You can save a lot of money too because they'll pay for everything. I mean, literally, they'll pay for everything. You can save all your money. I have friends that when they got out after 4 years, they had a lot of money in the bank because they were smart.
Right.
They were not like me. I didn't save much.
Was it using your leave and buying up stuff?
Yeah, buying a nice
things?
car. I had a nice car when I was active duty. I barely used it. It was always parked. I was always gone. So I pay for parking every time I deploy.
That concludes the interview.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for having me.